What's up, guys? Jags Nation here to bring you another video, and today's video is my Jacksonville Jaguars 7-round mock draft. Now, in this mock draft, there are no trades. It is simply how we are sitting in the current draft order, so I definitely want to let you guys know about that and give you guys a heads up. Now, I am going to be posting other videos in the up and coming weeks, which those mock drafts will include trades in them. I'm also going to take free agency into consideration, so if I don't draft a certain position, it's more likely because I am going to be drafting, or I think that position gets solved in free agency, so definitely want to let you guys know about that. Like I said, 7 rounds for the Jaguars, so let's go ahead and get right into it. First overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. No need to explain here. Urban Meyer was not coming to the Jags if we did not have the number 1 overall pick. Trevor Lawrence gets selected by the Jags. Now, we do have another first-round pick number 25. I do think left tackle gets fixed in free agency, so I think you got to build the trenches up. So I'm looking at defensive tackle here, in my opinion. I'm looking at defensive tackle Christian Barmore from Alabama. I think this dude's a mauler, can be impactful day number 1. He can help transition the Jaguars from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and he can be impactful right away, and that would be huge for the Jaguars. Now, we do have the first overall pick in the second round, pick number 33. And you kind of see here, I'm kind of looking to see what players are still available, because every year there are players projected in the first round that fall to the second and third round. So in my opinion, you don't want to close all the doors. You want to leave the books wide open and see what players are still there. You don't want to be, stuck on just one player. So I'm looking at here at different positions like wide receiver, safety, corner. I'm gonna go ahead and look at corner here. I'm probably gonna pick ASANTE Samuel. I think I am gonna pick ASANTE Samuel. I think him and C.J. Henderson can be a great duo in the up and coming years. We need another corner bad because we got tore up with injuries, and I do think we'd re-sign Sidney Jones, but Sidney Jones cannot stay healthy. So I definitely think we need another CB2. I think ASANTE Samuel can fill that role right away and be impactful right away. Now, we do have another second round pick, and that was from the Yannick Ngakoue trade with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go ahead and look at safety. You can see here I'm looking at Richie Grant. I'm a huge Richie Grant fan, but I don't think the Jags are going to pick him. You got Javon from Oregon. You also got Trayvon from TCU. I don't think Trayvon's going to fall this far when it comes to draft time in April, but for this sake, for the mock draft, he was here, so I'm going to go ahead and take it, Trayvon, the safety from TCU. Now, we are going to be going on to the third round, and I am going to be looking at tight end more likely. I do think in free agency the Jags are going to go ahead and sign a tight end. We haven't had a tight end, and good tight end here in Jacksonville in many, many years. It's very frustrating. So I definitely think we need another tight end. Like I said, we're going to get one in free agency, but I think you need a tight end too. So I'm going to be looking at Hunter Long from Boston College. I think he can come in here and not be a starter right away, but like I said, tight end 2, potentially be a starter, maybe 2 or 3 years down the road. But I think Hunter Long, he can help spread the field wide open, and definitely for being your number 2 tight end, I think it's a home run hit in my opinion. And you kind of see here, I'm just kind of seeing what other players are available. I'm kind of looking at seeing what tight ends are currently still here. I'm also going to be looking at edge rushers here. You got Quincy from Miami. I'm also going to be seeing if I see Cameron Sample from Tulane, who I'm a huge fan of. But a lot of these guys that I do want to draft, a lot of these edge rushers are getting picked already, while I'm still waiting for my selection at pick 106. So I don't know if I'm going to select Cameron Sample just yet. I think it might be a little too early. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on him. I'm probably going to go ahead and wait for probably till the next pick or next round. So I don't think we're going to draft him. We're going to go ahead and say no to him right now. I am going to be looking at wide receiver and see what wide receivers are available, also what running backs are available. So let's see what running backs are available here. Yeah, you got plenty of running backs still available. Even though we do have James Robinson, we do need another running back. I see Amari Rodgers is here. I'm going to go ahead and select Amari Rodgers. He was a target for Trevor Lawrence. You definitely want to give Trevor Lawrence someone that he is he is comfortable with. And we only have 3 wide receivers on the roster, even though I do think we are going to sign a wide receiver in free agency. That still only leaves 4. So getting another wide receiver in the draft is a no-brainer in my opinion. So we got pick 130 coming up, and I think I'm going to go to edge rusher. I'm going to go find Cameron Sample if he is still here, and I'm going to go ahead and select him. More likely, I'm looking to see who else is still here. With Cameron Sample, the negative, in my opinion, is he's in a 4-3. We are more likely going to be transitioning into a 3-4. But I think he can transition very easily, and he can be a good rotational player on day number 1, maybe get 3 to 6 sacks a year. Now we got pick 146 coming up, and I am going to go ahead and kind of see what running backs are available, and I think I know who I want. One, JAVIAN HAWKINS from Louisville. This dude's 5'9". He's a fast guy. He's a third down running back. He's a receiving back, and that's what we need. James Robinson's that kind of like that power back who has some speed, can catch, but we also need a third down running back. You don't want, in my personal opinion, you do not want James Robinson getting every single carry, because eventually, running backs, they can get hurt very easily. And I think you want that 1-2 punch, in my personal opinion, kind of like what Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt have up in Cleveland. I think this can be somewhat similar. I do think James Robinson will get majority of the carries, but like I said, Hawkins will be the third down running back. You can motion him out. He can catch passes and stuff like that. I'm also going to be looking here at my next selection. I am looking at Tommy KRAEMER, inside offensive lineman, more so, just for injury purposes. You never know Andrew Norwell, AJ Cann, if they're ever going to get hurt. You don't know much about Ben Bartch, if he's going to be a future starter for the Jags or not. So you still want to get more depth just in case the injuries do happen. Injuries happen in the NFL, so I'm going to select Tommy KRAEMER from Notre Dame. And like I said, in my personal opinion, I think rounds 1 through 3 should be impactful day number 1, whether they start or not. They're impactful rounds 4 through 7. You're kind of just, these are special teams guys. Maybe you find a hidden gem on there eventually. So round 4 through 7 are just more so for depth purposes, and so also just that you can hopefully that you hit on a player or two that can potentially be a star or a starter for you in the near future. So we got our next selection right here, getting ready to pick, and I'm just looking at all the options here, seeing defense line, seeing safety, corner, seeing what's available. I'm looking at linebacker here, KJ BRITT from Auburn. We've had some injury problems in the past at linebacker spot, so I'm always for drafting a linebacker, and I think he can work in a 3-4 potentially, and more so, just if any injuries happen, he's there, and also for someone this late you're picking, he's not going to be a starter. More likely, he's just going to be there for special team purposes. And while we get ready to pick our final selection in the 7th round, I'm kind of looking at all options, looking at offensive tackle, see if I need a backup offensive tackle. I'm also kind of looking at corner here, seeing who's available. Like I said earlier, when I drafted ASANTE Samuel, corners for the Jags, they got hurt a lot last year. We lost like DJ Hayden, Sidney Jones, CJ Henderson. They all got hurt. So we definitely need another corner. This is more so for special teams purposes and more so for in case injuries happen. So I'm leaving everything on the table. I'm looking at Trey Norwood from Oklahoma. I'm also looking at Cam Byram from California. But like I said, I'm looking at all positions, looking at defensive lineman, looking at tight end. See what else still here at corner. And I think I'm going to go ahead and select Cameron Byram, in my opinion, just because he's one of the better, not saying he's a good corner or anything like that, but, he's one of the better players still available at that position, a position that I think that since we got tore up with injuries last year that we need to solve. If you can see here, obviously Trevor Lawrence, Christian Barmore, you got Trayvon the safety from TCU, Hunter Long, Amari Rodgers. All these guys right here should be impactful day number 1. Even look later in the draft, you look JAVIAN HAWKINS, who I think is going to be utilized very, very well if the Jags do end up taking him. He can be the Jags can motion him out. He's a good check down for Trevor Lawrence. He's someone that can definitely take the load off of James Robinson to make sure James Robinson does not get hurt. And all the other selection more so just for depth purposes, and just make sure if injuries happen that you have someone that can go in and be a rotational player. If I had to say a steal of the draft for me, not really would be a steal, but Cameron Sample, I definitely think he's very underrated, and I think he can eventually be someone that gets anywhere from 6 to 8, 9 sacks a year. Not right away, but a few years down the road. But yeah, so these are all my selections, like I just went through. You'd be on the lookout for some more mock drafts in the up and coming weeks, some with trades and some similar to this, and we'll see if I land any of the same players. But like I said, I did take free agency into consideration, so if I didn't draft a certain position or a certain player, it's probably because we got that position fixed in free agency. I'm going to go ahead and see where the other quarterbacks went. Zach Wilson to the Jets, Justin Fields to the Falcons. So that's definitely possible, especially with the Zach Wilson talk recently. So wouldn't be surprised about that by any means. But like I said, be on the lookout for some more mock drafts in the up and coming future. Other than that, go Jags.